Hi, incredible exceptional existence community. Lou here. Do I look like I've been camping for 2 days, 3 days? Because I have. Really dying for a shower and I'm about to take one. But what I wanted to talk to you guys today about was my weekend. And I guess for me, I know you would have seen me on the video yesterday when I was just like a bit like, oh my God, transitions change, everything's happening, I don't know what's happening. And so I've kind of gotten back now to reality, and I wanted to share some things with you about my experience and some of the things that came up for me over the weekend. So as many of you may know, I was at an event called the Garden Gathering, which is a gathering of women. And what we do is we skill share. So we share our knowledge, but also there are a lot of people that just come to experience the different wisdom sharers. And people fly in from all over the world for it, and it is just such a beautiful gathering. But it also will show you what you need to see if it's right for you at that time. And it's on an island because nature is so important. Many of you know how important I think nature is, and so it's really, really important to be supported by nature. So that's why it's on an island. Now, I was kind of got home and I thought, you know what, I really want to share this with you guys, and then I'm just going to kind of sit in silence for a bit and sort of marinate in all of myself. So one of the things that I realized, and again, the importance of really taking time away from your normal routine. And I said this, I was talking about this recently in the post that I mentioned about the lion who was, in a tiny little cage and would like walk up and down, up and down, up and down. And then they built this lion, an incredible enclosure, jungle-like. And when they put that lion in there, all it did was got into the corner of the jungle and just continued to do this because that was his routine. And even though this amazing world was out there waiting for him, he just continued to circle because that's all he'd ever done. And so I think that this was really big for me as well, this whole idea of taking time outside of your routine. And sometimes outside of there's one thing to go overseas and stay in a nice cushy hotel and be there, but maybe also getting out to a place where you don't normally go, like nature and being in nature. And if camping makes you feel uncomfortable, then finding you a place where you're staying in a cabin, or perhaps even just getting out to nature for a whole entire day in itself. And if you've got kids, taking your family with you, because the nature in itself will heal you. And that's also why essential oils are a huge part of my life and such an ally for me, because it's really nature in a bottle. So the first lesson was really the idea of taking time from your routine is really important, so you can see the whole beautiful jungle that you have. This lighting is going to be weird on me. So I'm just going to the light. It's time for Hong Kong to go to bed. So I wonder if I could just touch that and see if that will help with the lighting. I don't know if that worked. Anyway, so back to second point. When you need to be kind to yourself, do it. And this, guys, I'm not great at. I'm going to say it, I'm really not great at it. I think I've said it before, actually, not great at it. And I had gone to this camping site with my iPad, my airbook. I was like, oh yeah, we're going to do work. That airbook and iPad never saw the light of day. Stayed locked in my suitcase, which was annoying because I had to lock it every time I left it. And I did nothing. I had plans to do so much. And I think sometimes you need to be kind to yourself, because I'd gone through so much, especially yesterday. And I realized, actually I thought I was alone, but I realized basically the whole campsite was going through it as well, which is such a gift, because on the end of that is great transformation, change and development and moving forward. So this whole idea of really being kind to yourself, and this is a constant fight I have with myself, and the need to just be like, you know what, today I'm not going to do any work. I'm not going to pull my laptop out. I'm not going to do whatever. And yesterday I did a live post with you guys because I was like, I need to share this. I'm not okay today, and I need to share this. So yeah, you were pretty much the only thing I did on technology all day. So second point, be kind to yourself when you need it. Third point, when you're going through great change, you feel like you're shifting and you're going through great change, resist the desire to go back to the familiar. Now this was really big for me. So yesterday I did rapé in the morning at 6 a.m., which was intense, and it's a medicine that comes from the Amazon. And yeah, I'm all into the power of nature and power of healing, as many of you know. So I was like, I'm going to give that a go. But that was so incredibly intense. And I won't talk about what it was. Please Google rapé if you want to find out a little bit more about it. It's spelled R-A-P-E, rapé. And then after that, I went and did like a subconscious release. And that was so confronting, powerful. It was a group of about 16 people all facing this reality and just really diving into the unknown and clearing, and so intense. And so I found that, especially after the rapé and in the morning time, I really wanted to go home. I wanted to go home. I wanted to get out of there. I wanted to escape. And the other thing is also the next day I was wisdom sharing. So I was doing the Exceptional Existence Reboot Method. And I thought to myself, how can I help and heal people if I'm not okay myself? And so at that point I was like, I think I need to leave. And then I spoke to one of the healers that were there, which were just everywhere. I mean, it was so amazing to be there. And I said to her, I'm not okay. And I felt like really being honest about that. And I said, I'm not okay and I don't know what to do. And she said, Louise, maybe the fact that you want to run back to your life is actually not a great thing, because there's change happening here. And so, and this is another thing, I talk about the ego a lot. That's really also the ego being like, what are you doing? You're changing, you're growing, you're transitioning. I don't understand this world, and in order to control this environment, I need to take you back to an environment that I'm familiar with, says the ego. So I'm going to make you want to go home. I'm going to make you want to get back on a boat and go straight back home. And so it was interesting because I tuned in, and the message that I got was, stay exactly where you are. And I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, I'm being told to stay exactly where I am, but I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. I know I can get myself right there, and then I can come back and give to others. And I decided I needed to stay. And then after the session of subconscious release, and it was basically a lot of screaming out limiting beliefs that had come in from a vortex, and a lot of crying. A lot of people were going through a lot of stuff. After that, I really felt some release. And then I danced around. There was ecstatic dance, there was movement, there was a lot of dance and things that could be done there, which was it's amazing, such a release about the power of dance, amazing. And then I woke up this morning feeling amazing, like really amazing, like a new light had come into me. And I woke up and I went and meditated by the sea, and I was like, I can heal now, I can help, I can share, and it was amazing because the feedback from the Exceptional Existence Reboot Method was like, Louise, you were on fire. And I did 16 people today, 16, and I'd signed up, I was like 10 max. And then all these people just kept coming into the big dome that I was in, and I thought, I just have to accept these people, and I have to share and tune in with them and connect and give. And the feedback was that you were on fire, and it was that I stuck it out, and I thought, you know what? Always be grateful to your ego. Always be grateful to your ego, but decide it's time to move on. I'm so grateful to you for making me feel discomfort and making me want to go back to my old routine, but I choose to move forward. I choose to move forward, because in the end, the only reason your ego is doing that is to keep you safe, but you don't need to be safe. There are environments where you're totally safe, you're totally supported, but you're just moving forward to become something bigger and better than yourself, and that's unsafe for your ego. So just acknowledge, be grateful, and decide to move forward. Lesson number 4, ask and reach out for help. This is another big one I'm really bad at. I feel like I need to solve the world's problems, and I need to also fix my own. And so I think, especially probably in this environment where we're just constantly around people that are just wisdom sharers and carers and healers, really something that came up for me where it was like, it's okay to not be okay. And if you need help, it's okay to acknowledge that, be vulnerable in that, and then go and say, I'm not okay. And actually what I've found is in doing that, you become and appear even stronger, because the true strong people are the ones that are allowing themselves to be vulnerable. And then in those moments, they can let go of that vulnerability when they work through it and give so much more to others. So that's the lesson number 4. Really ask for help when you need it, because it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to need help, and it's okay to not be okay. Lesson number 5, the power of the conscious and the difference between, the power of the subconscious and the difference between the conscious and the subconscious mind. So a lot around the subconscious mind this weekend. It was great to see and learn from a lot of people that are doing subconscious work. And many of you know that I do the Exceptional Existence Reboot Method, and I'm about to launch something big, so stay tuned for that. But this whole idea of the power of the subconscious and the fact that we don't know what's programmed at that subconscious level. So as I mentioned before, the session I did yesterday when we were basically, there was a medium and a guide that was bringing in messages for the group as a whole that are subconscious limiting beliefs, and she was basically getting us to repeat them, to break through them, and to fall into the vulnerability of them and let it out. Let out that limiting belief. It's non-truth, but it's there. It's a non-truth, but it's there. And then today during my Exceptional Existence Reboot Method, I had this incredible woman in the room, and she shared that, and actually I'd done some sessions with her in other people's classes. We just seemed to be in the same room, and she was sharing about the fact that, she just can't seem to charge what she needs to charge for her business. She's got the skills, she knows she can help practitioners and healers, but she's just not getting the business for it. And it was really interesting because she, during that session, shared that she had seen a memory from her youth when she made a whole group of, a whole heap of mud cakes, and she was about 6, and she was going out to sell them on the street. She thought, I'm going to make so much money from these cakes. And her 2 stepsisters looked at her and said, you're never going to make money from that. You're never going to make money from that. And it's incredible where she was like, that memory was gone. It was gone from my mind. And now all of a sudden, it's come up again for me. And she never made the connection, but this is the power of the subconscious mind, where it's so important to do that work, to dive into the subconscious, because if there's something you've wanted but you haven't been able to achieve it, then there's something blocking you at the subconscious level. And this session today of my Exceptional Existence Reboot Method, where I was skill sharing, just further confirmed the point that it is so important to dive into the subconscious mind. And when you can do it in such an incredible healing way, it's just so amazing to see the transitions in the room and the things that come up for people, and the fact that things come up for them that are related to an intention, something they've wanted, but they never thought it had any correlation. And it does. It really does. So that's something I also really learned, again, was implanted, the power of the subconscious mind in so many different skill shares, including my own of the Exceptional Existence Reboot Method. And if you'd like to hear a little bit more about that, please reach out to me. And I'll also be launching something very exciting soon that will allow for this method to reach out to you. So guys, with that, I'm going to sign off. No real action items. I just hope that those 5 points can help you in some way as well. Perhaps going through them, and maybe you can take them on and digest them in a little bit more of a comfortable way than I did in terms of running away and trying to escape myself. But actually, I've come back and I am so grateful. And this journey of constantly work never ends. Working on yourself never ends. But I tell you what, when you get through that and above that and beyond that, it is so incredibly powerful. If you do think that there's somebody that this post would help, please tag them below. Please also share this message with them, perhaps in a private message, if you think that would respect them a little bit more. And again, guys, don't forget you can join our movement. There's a link below. If you'd like to join the movement and you haven't yet, please click on the link below, and you'll never miss an email from me again. I'm actually going to start doing weekly emails on various different topics that I think and hope would help you as well. So they will be a little bit different from the posts that I'm doing these lives, but I really hope that they serve you as well. Sending you lots of love, guys. I'm going to tune out now and go and have myself a shower. Not such a tent girl, but loved the experience, and the people that were brought to me in my tent, that stayed with me in the tent, were just gifts from God. And that's another thing, or from whoever you believe in, just trust. Trust that everything will be okay. And with trust and faith in yourself and your ability to heal and your ability to change and your ability to adapt and your ability to grow and your ability to achieve whatever it is that you want in your life. Because remember, we're all here to do something that no one else can. If you don't do it, it will never be done. So it's time to find out who you are so that you can bring that amazing gift forward to the world. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you soon.